Hey there, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of the Rambling Producer Podcast, where we talk your ear off about the industry.
Help me put your brain about mid-brain. Cutting out frequencies. It's the music game.
So, last episode we talked about setting up a schedule and just getting yourself into the routine and just starting to kind of introduce yourself into the professional mode of just, actually showing up, quote unquote, showing up for work when it comes to your new creative career or maybe your continuing creative career. Hopefully you went back, and if you hadn't listened to the previous episodes, you've listened to all of them, where we went through, kind of answered all the questions for your 12-month plan. We made sure we kind of understood that we needed to create like an image and recorded our first song, and you have something out there that's tangible, that is you. Set up and figure out what your social media platforms are and everything, because in this episode, we're not going to be tying all of that together and doing the one thing that always gets people caught up in it and they don't know how to handle it, and that is marketing. And we're going to actually go in depth here with marketing, well, as in depth as we can. Believe it or not, the whole thing with marketing yourself is actually extremely simple, but that simplicity is what really messes people up, because we think that it should be more complicated than it actually is, and that's where it messes us up. So I'm going to be walking you through kind of step by step here, and with like tips and tricks, basically how I would market a song. But I'm also going to be explaining that, you can make your own twists on things and make your own way of doing it, because truthfully, it's so simple. There isn't any real specific way you have to do it or you should do it. It's just kind of your own way, and that's what really gets people, because it's such a vague idea. So the idea behind marketing basically is to get yourself in front of a new audience, or maybe even your existing audience, to try to bring them in basically and get them into your content. It's mostly geared toward getting a new audience, and that's mostly what I'm going to be talking about, is the new audience side. But there are things, you want to make sure you're making things that are, engaging for your current audience too, and I'll talk about that. But first, we're going to go into the new audience side, because that's where most of us really want to be at for right this second, because chances are you don't have much of a current audience to be pitching to, basically. So, obviously, keep up posts. That's going to be your number one thing. Keep posting. I know it's hard to think about content, but think of it this way. I go through the day every day, and I see little things that I find entertaining, or things that I enjoy. Maybe I chuckle at it. Maybe I resonate with it. I think, oh man, that's totally something I would do. Use that as material. A lot of people don't do that. I am terrible at it. I'm still terrible at it, even though I know I should do it. But it's just such a simple thing. Like, for example, if I get frustrated, I can't talk today, frustrated at like someone not using a turn signal or something like that, and I've seen like 50 people mess something up like that, and it's such little simple things. I'm all about like kind of laughing at, the simple ironies of humanity, like you think about someone out there is, can't figure out like, hey, use a turn signal. It's simple, you're going right, you hit right, but people don't do it. And so, I've made a post before that says, hey, make me a list. What are the silly things that humanity does that are common sense? And people are like, not use turn signals and, lose things in their own pocket, just silly, weird things, and I'll make a post about it. And if that's something that I find interesting, someone else probably finds it interesting too. Chances are someone has the same kind of mindset as you, whether you think there's somebody out there like that or not. And the whole basis of marketing is literally going to be just you being yourself, or at least the image that you're trying to be. So if you're an artist and your artist image that you've decided is basically just to be yourself and just to show your personality through your artistry, then great. That's literally all you have to do. Make posts and things that are going to resonate with you, basically. There are things that you would say, things that you would do, share things that you enjoy, And that's really the basis of it. Just share things you enjoy. Even if you don't think anybody's going to enjoy it, chances are if you enjoy it, they're probably going to enjoy it too. Someone is going to understand you. You know, even if you're like just, you know, oh, I like to go to Starbucks every day. So, you know, take a picture of your drink and be like, oh man, this is my favorite drink at Starbucks. So people are going to love that. It resonates with you and it'll resonate with your audience. And those are little things that aren't music related necessarily that they like to hear about. They like to hear about your life. So share some of your life. Don't get too personal, but like, you know, like I said, favorite coffee? Oh yeah, share that. Oh, you want to know, you know, how I get myself up in the morning, which could be that favorite coffee, but maybe, oh, I wake up every day and meditate. You know, some people do that. Maybe that's what you do. Or maybe you hate waking up early, so you sleep in and you just wake up and be like, oh, you make a post that says, I did not want to get up this morning, but grind's got to continue. You know, little things like that, you know, that resonate with you might resonate with your audience. So keep up posts is the number one thing you need to do in marketing. I know people think, oh, marketing, I got to go out and pay some company to get me in front of hundreds and hundreds of new people. No, you don't have to pay a penny for the baseline of marketing. You just need to be engaging and keep posting. And when people finally come across your page, they'll see you're an active page. And a lot of algorithms will actually put you in front of people as suggested pages because you're an active page. But if you're inactive, they'll say, oh, this loser doesn't want anybody to see his stuff anyways. So you need to stay active. That's literally the baseline. And then what we're going to do, really simple. If you have new music, say something about it. So you're trying to get people to listen to your music. Well, you have a new song that just came out. Let's just talk about your first song, for example. You have a first song or a new song that came out. You resonate with that song. If you wrote the song, the chances are you resonate with that song. Something about that song is about you or your life or somebody else's life that you know, and you relate to it in some way. Talk about it. Don't just be, hey, I have a new song. Cool. I mean, that's fine. If you don't know what to say, you know, go ahead. But really, you should have something to say about it. For example, I have a song called Normal, and I didn't market that song at all. I probably should have, but I didn't at the time. Looking back, I did that. I didn't do anything right when I did the release for that song, and I also should have perfected parts of the song that I didn't get done properly, but it was my learning phases. But that song's all about disabilities of all kinds, and the frustrations of people not understanding it, but they think they understand it, and they try to tell you how to live your life. And that connects with me so closely, because I have a disability. I'm type 1 diabetic. People tell me how to take care of myself all the time, and every single person has their own opinion, even though I listen to everything my doctor says. And yet they all think they know better. And that's basically what the song is about. And I could have said something about that. Did a post, then linked to the song, and said, hey, that's what this song's all about. Why don't you guys go give it a listen and give it some love? That's the baseline of marketing. I can't tell you exactly how to word everything. You want to word things how you would word things. You want to talk about things how you would talk about things. And that, I know that's a simple, vague explanation, and that's why it's hard for people, because nobody can be like, oh, write this. Oh, do this. No, it's what would you say about it? What do you think about your own song? What do you think about this thing that you're just posting up? What do you think about it? And then what you want to do is take that post where you say something about your song, you link the song, say, hey, why don't you guys give it a listen? I think you'll like it. And then you take that, and then you market it. And marketing it is as simple as just boosting the post on Facebook or boosting it on Instagram. You know, having those avenues, put it in front of new people. And if you don't have money to spend on it, then don't boost it. Just share it. Try to share it to groups. Try to share it and get that post to places that you know people that haven't seen any of your stuff can see it. That's the baseline of marketing. Is just getting your stuff in front of somebody else who hasn't seen it before, trying to get them to see it, and hopefully they like it, and it engages them. And that's the baseline of marketing. And it's so simple that people struggle with it, and they, you know, hire marketing managers and take tutorials 24/7, and they still can't figure it out. It's because it's so simple that it's also not simple. And it sounds silly, but sometimes it's the simplest things that feel the hardest because they can only be explained vaguely. It's like, people trying to find their voice. I can't tell you how to find your voice. You're going to have to sing and, figure out your own style. Nobody can tell you your style. You just have to find it. We can give you guidance to try to get you there, but you just have to find it. And same thing with here. You got to find your voice in the marketing and social media worlds and all these different things. And some people don't want to do social media at all, and that's okay. But you have your voice, the way you talk on stage, the way you hold yourself, the way you present yourself. That's all part of you, and that's also part of your marketing, your image, your brand, who you are, or what you are. Maybe, I know there's a lot of people that like Deadmau5. He's like, it's not who he is, it's what he is. He's the mouse, and that's okay. If that's your image, that's his image. And that's how he reflects himself. And so you have like a bunch of different ways you can do this, but nobody can tell you exactly how to do it. You have to decide that. And when you decide that, that makes your whole life easier. Because now everything is based off of that. Your sound and your music is based off of that. The way you present yourself online is based off of that. The photos and like the stances and things you're going to use in your photos. If you told a professional that is taking your photographs, hey, I want to portray this, feeling. Typically, if they're like a professional and they've been doing it for a while, they'll be like, oh yeah, man, I have so many ideas, and they can help you with that. But if you can't tell them what you want, then they can't give you what you want. And so just like with marketing, you have to know what you want, who you are, what's your brand, what's your image. That's going to be something you have to figure out, that nobody on the planet can tell you what it is. And for me, it's simple. I'm me. I know myself better than anybody else is ever going to know me. And that's usually true about everybody. You know yourself better than anybody. So if you're a solo artist and you're just trying to portray your own self-image, then portray your own self-image. Open up. Show your personality. You're putting up a character, and maybe it's a little more over-exaggerated as an artist, because you're trying to push and be like, hey, this is me. This is what I think on the inside. This is you getting inside my head and understanding me and how I work. And then maybe in real life it's more died down because you're not always open with everybody. That's okay. But you just need to be able to do that. You need to be able to open up to your audience. Let them know you and the inner workings of your brain and what you think and how you work and all of that, and put that in everything you write, everything you post. Like I said, if something interests you, it's probably going to interest your audience. That's the audience you want. You want like-minded people to come so that they enjoy the things that you enjoy. And they'll probably enjoy your music because hopefully you enjoy your music. If you don't enjoy your music, well, then you're probably not making the kind of music you should be making. You need to enjoy your own music. You need to enjoy creating it. And if people see that enjoyment, the people that are going to enjoy it are going to follow. And then literally just get that in front of people, whether it's just sharing it to groups, because maybe you don't have any money to spend on marketing right now. Well, that's okay. We'll put it in group. There's a lot of free groups you can join on Facebook, and there's a lot of things you can just share to people or ask your friends to share around or whatever else. Get those in front of those people somehow. And that's one of the most important ways. That's literally how you're going to market yourself. And that is the baseline for all marketing. That's whether you're pushing merchandise, song sales, a show, anything. Don't just go out and be like, oh guys, I'm playing a show at this thing. Or don't be like, oh guys, I got a new song. Be like, no, hey guys, you gotta be like, hey guys, I'm super excited. I'm gonna be playing a show at this venue. I've never been there before, but I've heard it's awesome. Or maybe I have been there and I freaking loved it when I saw this other band there. I'm super excited. I hope you guys will come out and come see it. Show them your excitement. Or your song, you'd be like, hey guys, I got this song, it's all about this, and like the treacherous pain I felt when I went through this thing. I really hope you guys enjoy this song and can relate to it. And if you ever, if you've been through something similar, put it in the comments and let me know. And, connect with them in a sense that way. That's where all your marketing's gonna come. It's a conversation. It's your engagement with your fans. Or soon-to-be fans. That's all your engagement. And so the in-depth part is simply just going in and saying, hey, can I how much can I spend on marketing, and where do I want to break it up? Well, that's going to be the more in-depth parts. So, but first you have to know, what do I want to say? What do I want to say to the people all these new people? You know, how am I going to display my personality, but then also come invite them to join me in enjoying my music, or come into my show, or whatever else you're trying to get them to do. Figure out what you're going to say first. And there's nothing saying you have to say anything in specific. It's just be yourself. Invite them in a way that you would invite them. If you're a cheesy guy or a cheesy girl, or maybe you're not, maybe you're very sophisticated, or maybe you're very dark and gothic and deep, or maybe you're just, very philosophical, or just whatever your personality is, say something in a way that would display that personality. And you'll attract people that like that personality, and they'll probably like you. And so that's what you need to do. You just say it in your own way, and then you go in and spend the budget on it. And you have to look at, well, where's my market, usually my demographic? And that's the part that's more technical. But it's actually the easier part, because you don't have to figure out, all this stuff that nobody can tell you how to do it. I can tell you right now, if you just pick your favorite social media platform. Chances are, if you resonate with the social media platform, your audience probably does too. And then you push it on there, and you test the market, and you see how that's going to work. You test it with a smaller amount of money, and see what kind of engagement you get. If you like Facebook over Instagram, that's fine. Use Facebook. But you can also simply just Google search, let's use the dark gothic kind of community. Okay, look up, you can look up something as simple as, popular dark, gothic-esque pages. There's a lot of bloggers and things, and some of them use Instagram, some of them use other things, and I would follow those and see what platforms are they using. Where are all their fans coming from? Maybe it's Instagram, and they're showing, creepy, old, stuff. I don't know, something. But, or maybe, the medieval community, they're showing people in, knight armor and stuff, and, that's just something that resonates with you. Then that's going to resonate with you, then it'll probably resonate with your ideal audience, too. And so, maybe go to that platform and market to the people that you see them being in front of. The coolest thing that Facebook, and I'm pretty sure Instagram does it too, lets you do is you can actually, there's an interest part when you're creating an ad. Basically, you just boost a post. It'll just take the post and put it out there. You don't have to edit it at all if you don't want to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And you enter the amount of money you want to spend. But then, when you're dying down that demographic, you can pick the location. So let's say if you're planning a show in Detroit, Michigan, you can specifically put in all the locations in Michigan that are nearby, and also in Detroit, so that you're only marketing to that area, so it doesn't try to market, to some guy in Los Angeles that you're going to play a show in Detroit. And you can also go to the section called interests, and basically it's going to try to put your stuff in front of people who have shown an interest in whatever you type in there. So I make a form of pop music, so I typically put pop music in there. And usually if you put multiple tags in there, it goes, they're interested in this, or this, or this. But there's also a way you can make it to where it's got to be two things at the same time. But I don't do that. I go this, or this, or this, or this. So I usually go pop music, or they a famous artist that I like, that I resonate with, and I've drawn inspiration from, and I think I sound kind of like. And so I'll use that as hey, or maybe they like this guy, or maybe they like this, and you can put those in there, and you're not really limited to how many you can put in there. You can put as many as you want, but that'll die down your demographic, and it'll target it to the people that you want to be in front of. And that's literally all you have to do. You click go, it runs an ad for you, and it charges you slowly over time until the ad's done and all the money's spent. Just make sure you budget it out. You know how much you're spending on your ads and your release and all that other stuff. Hopefully you are, if you've already released a song on anything right now, you understand the release process and how much it costed you to release something, despite outside of marketing, like CD Baby. I've learned, what my price for that is. I like to use their pro distribution, so it's I think it's $35 or $40. I always shoot for the higher amount, so if I round up, if it's $35, I always say 40, just so that I have that extra padded, thing. But, once you've gone through it once, you pretty much know what it's going to cost you next time. And then budget that out, and then budget, well, how much do I have to do marketing? How much do I need to spend on merch, or how much do I plan on spending, make sure you even budget out, like, gasoline to get to your shows if you're going to play some shows and stuff. Once you get everything budgeted out, it's pretty easy. You just go in and you find the post that says, hey, check out my single or my album or whatever else, but hopefully you said it better than that. You've said, with some personality in there. And I can't tell you how to display your personality. Like I said earlier, you just have to figure that out on your own. And then you just boost it. And that boosting will get it in front of new people that haven't seen your content, and they'll come to you. That whole marketing thing is extremely simple. People struggle with it because they try to overcomplicate it. And that's really the only reason people struggle with it. And that's why there's professionals that do it, because those professionals know how simple it is and how they can do it. And what they do is they just kind of gauge your personality, and they try to display that, and they see your posts and things, and they say, oh, that's a good post. We could boost that. We could use that. And so they'll do that. And then, there's also the other side. If you hire somebody, it frees up your time. That's the nice thing about hiring somebody to do it, is that it frees up your time so that you can just focus on the creation side of just creating music and not worrying about posting anything on social media. I do feel like it makes it a little less organic if you hire somebody, unless they're like someone who's by your side constantly and they see you in the creation process. They can take little video snippets of things. Then that would probably work pretty well. But if it's just a company, then it's not going to work as well for organicness. And once you've grown a lot, though, that might be something you need to do because you're busy with a lot of other things. But you really need to prioritize your fans. And so you always want to make sure you're in some way maintaining an organic connection with your fans. Whether that's social media or not, it's fine. It could be just meet and greets at concerts and stuff when they get there. It could be a number of things, But that's the other thing. You want to keep your relationships with everybody. Everybody that is connected with you and they show up to your shows and they buy your stuff and they listen to your music, you want to keep organic connections with them. It's going to get harder as you get a lot more fans, but you can still make those connections. They might not be as close once you get lots, but when you're a few, you can have, you can actually probably actually physically meet them and talk to them for a little while. Whereas if you have if you book a show with 500,000 people showing up, which would be amazing. If you're at that point, you're doing really, really good. And obviously you can't meet and greet 500,000 people in that day, so you might not get that connection, that close of a connection with everybody. But you should always try to make connections. Try to make connections with all your fans and so that they get to know you even better. And make connections, through your posts. Make connections through anything you can. That'll keep the snowball effect rolling. More people will be like, oh, this is a great person. This great guy. He played great. He sounded great. And, I just love his personality, and I follow him, and they'll go tell their friends. And they'll go in and say, oh, man, this guy was awesome. You should listen to him. Oh, man, this guy's awesome. Oh, I know a song you'll like, They'll tell their friends. And that's a snowball effect. Those friends will then tell their friends, etc., etc., etc. That's also marketing. That's word of mouth marketing. And so a lot of that is going to become a snowball effect. And everything's going to start off slowly for you, more than likely. And that's okay. As we talked last time, we want to build that foundation. You want to get true fans. So we don't want tens of thousands of people that might spend $1 on you, because they might spend $1 on you once and then no more. True fans are those people who are going to stick around for your whole career. You just started and you're playing coffee shops and they're there, but also when you get bigger and you're playing big venues, they're going to be there too, and they're going to stick with you the whole career, and they just feel that close connection with you, and they're diehard fans. They're like, oh yeah, man, I met this guy when he was just starting, and he's awesome. He's come such a long way, and I think it's great. You want those people. Those are also the people that are going to continue to, be willing to spend money on your career and support your career and keep you going. And they're also going to be your emotional support too, because they're going to be there and and to defend you and defend your music. And so you're going to have all of that in your true fans. So you want that nice sturdy foundation. And then if you have some little raggedy pieces of the walls, that are built up after that on top of that foundation, that's okay. You can have some straggler fans that aren't true fans. That's okay. You're always going to have those. But it's really important to have those true fans as the foundation so that house never falls down. And that's what's important, is that you have those true fans, and you keep those true fans, and you keep connecting with those true fans. And obviously you want to keep making those true fans and building up even more as much as you can, and making new connections with those people who maybe they're not true fans yet, but you're going to turn them into true fans. That's literally your job, is to turn them into true fans, of people that you connect with, of people that enjoy your music and everything you do. And that's literally your job. Make those connections and while making music and enjoying what you're doing. And usually if they see you enjoying yourself, they'll usually enjoy themselves too, which is awesome. And that's the easiest way to keep connecting with people, is enjoy yourself in front of them. Show them that you're enjoying what you're doing, and share what's going on in your life, good or bad. They want to hear about it. They want to know what's going on. They want to be there with you, in a sense. And so that's the best marketing you'll ever be able to do. It's the best marketing advice you're ever going to hear. And I guarantee you, if you put this whole thing in front of any marketing agent, that they'll be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. You just need to be yourself, and then you need to put yourself in front of new audiences that will like you, and they'll connect with you, and then they'll come and connect with you and follow you through your career. And that's how you do marketing. It's vague. It's not straightforward, and it's never going to be straightforward. It's not like, you don't want to follow this special template, because you're going to lose all your personality and all your real organic and your real connections that people love. So you just need to go with it, and go with you and what you think, and how you would say things, and all of that. And that's what you want to do. The only thing I could add to that would allow you to also market and get the snowball effect going a little bit more. A lot of social media platforms now use hashtags. And that's where you're going to basically do things that are going to be related to your content. So if you release a new song, hashtag new music, hashtag upcoming artist, those things. And there's actually a bunch of different websites you can use. One of them is like Hashtagify, I think is what it's called. And you can actually look up the trending hashtags right now, where if you were to use those trending hashtags, you're more likely to get searches and come up in their search results, and come up in things that shows, hey, this guy used this, and this post is going to pop up. So that's another way to actually get some reach without having to pay for that reach. So definitely research into those hashtags. I can't tell you specific ones to use, because it's going to depend on what you said and what your song is all about and everything. I can't tell you specific ones to use, but use the resources that are out there. There's a lot of free resources to learn about those things too, and add those to your post. I like to sprinkle them in my paragraphs. A lot of people put them at the end, and they put little dots, and then they'll put them at the bottom so that people don't have to read through them. But I like to sprinkle them in my post, where it's like, hey guys, I just released hashtag new music. You guys should go check it out. I'll use it as the words. So there's ways to do that, and then maybe there are some that, you'd have to put at the end. But either way, find creative ways to use those in how you're wording things too. That's a really fun way to do it, and keep people interested, and also bring in new people. So definitely research to those too. Like I said, Hashtagify is one of them. There's other ones. You just have to, quick Google search, look up different things, top hashtags. You probably just Google search top hashtags right now on Twitter or on Facebook or Instagram, etc. And that'd be the way you could go about doing it. That's really the best way to market your original music. So that being said, getting in front of your current fans is a lot easier. You're going to be pretty much just creating engaging posts, being yourself in your posts. And what you want to do is, a lot of algorithms don't like it when you tell people to check things out and things like that. So you just want to leave it at, hey guys, I just released some new music, link to it's in the comments, or link to it's right here, or whatever. Don't tell them what to do. That's what Facebook's been kind of doing, is kind of straying away from that. I don't know why, but there's little things like that, but that's not necessarily that important. So if they're following your page and they're getting updates and they're really engaged with their music, if you keep engaging and connecting with them, chances are they're going to take out the time to actually visit your page. So if you're trying to get into front of your true fans that you already have, chances are they're searching you out. And if they're not, that's okay, because you'll still get in front of them, because chances are you're going to have an event or you're going to have something that's going to be boosted, and those will also get in front of it. But as long as you're constantly posting, like consistently, try to post at least once a day if you can, and, post something interesting, they're going to come back for that interesting content. There's also like an option on some social media platforms to run ads specifically for the people that already follow you. I don't usually suggest doing that, though, because a lot of them are already going to see it. So it's really more about creating engaging posts that's going to keep them coming back. Ask them questions where they're going to answer in the comments, or just other things like that, where they have to answer something or they have to do something, maybe like challenges or whatever else. You could do contests even and post about it, and that's going to keep them engaged, gives them something to do, and gives them a reason to come back. So that's a way to engage people and keep them coming back and seeing your posts. And then just keep posting quality content, things that resonate with you. And that's really where all your marketing is going to come from. You're going to create what's called the snowball effect, where basically you're going to start small. It's going to slowly grow as you roll it along, and it'll keep growing and keep growing and keep growing and keep growing, exponential growth. So you might start with 20, but those 20 people might have 5 friends. And those 5 friends each might have 5 friends. And those 5 friends might have 5 or more friends. You don't know. And so you're just going to keep snowball affecting until you keep growing. And treat every day like you have 100,000 fans standing in front of you for a big concert. Even if you only got 5. Treat it like you got a big venue that's packed to the brim and sold out. So you want to give the highest quality to everybody. They all matter. They're all important. Alright guys, so that's it for this episode. Next time we're going to talk a little bit more about stage presence. And then I'm also going to start sprinkling in a little bit about, just basically advancing forwards once you've started building a pretty good little fan base. You're selling a little bit of merch, making a little bit of money, and basically just trying to advance forward and making your career a little easier. Resources that you can eventually pay for, or just things that you can hope to, eventually get to, like hiring PR firms. Maybe you want to get a record deal, maybe you don't, and probably talk a little bit about pros and cons of a record deal if you get approached. That way you're prepared. We'll just have to see everything next episode. We're gonna go ahead and we're pretty much gonna be doing just like how I usually do. We're gonna be rambling, and so we'll move from one thing to the next. And usually I try to stay pretty close to a certain topic. So next week we're going to be talking mostly about that whole, the next steps after you've started marketing, you've started getting a good amount of fans coming in, merch, everything, and what resources you can look at eventually upgrading to advance your career more and make your life easier. Hey there guys, we're taking a short break here just to tell you a little bit about our sponsor for this episode. Our sponsor is actually Anchor, the people who host our podcast. We really love their service. The best part about their service is that it's free. They give you the creation tools and everything to edit your podcast right from your phone or right on the computer from their website, so you don't need anything else outside of that. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from it. You can get sponsorships to do that. It's just really just everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And let's say you want to edit some things. That's cool too. You can do that in your own editing software and just upload your file just as its own file. You can add your own background music. You can do everything. Make sure to try out Anchor by downloading the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Peace. All right. Thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of The Rambling Producer. I'll see you guys next time.
Help me with your brain about mid-brain. Cutting out frequencies instantly.